Guess what, ladies? Tonight, it's all going to be about you. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Please Be Random. Tonight, we're going to be asking random questions to the female listeners of the show, and we're going to see if we can get something in return. Just a little need-to-know stuff for us men who would actually relish the opportunity for some answers. I don't know how I even want to start this necessarily. Men can be assholes. Let's be honest. We've got quite a few of them that have ruined it for the whole batch. But there are some of us that are not that bad, okay? We treat our women with respect 9 times out of 10. We do our best to obey their every wish. But everybody's got flaws. One of my biggest ones, I'm lazy as hell. And that's just the way it is. I don't know. I don't know why. I come home from work and I just want to sit. I want to have dinner. I want to eat all my food. And I want to sit on the couch and relax and just watch some TV. And, after the kiddos go to bed or whatever, we can cuddle, we can clean, we can do whatever. I want to relax. I want to watch some TV. I want to eat my food. And that's it. I mean, we are simple creatures. Let's be honest, ladies. Men are very simple. You feed us, you love us, and you respect us. It's as simple as that. It's that easy. I mean, full bellies. Number one, we become stagnant. So that will 110% dull down the annoyingness. You fill our bellies, we slow down, and we become stagnant. Just, I might ruin some secrets for us men. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's true. Fill our bellies up. We'll sit there and we'll just be rubbing our bellies and enjoying the fullness. I mean, this thing in here is the key, the pinnacle at the top of the throne to our hearts. Point blank, period. That and blowjobs, of course, but I mean, separate subject. It's not hard, ladies. It's not hard. It really isn't. I mean, you make it harder than what it needs to be 9 times out of 10. And that actually brings me to my first topic. Why in the hell can you poor ladies not just use logic over emotion? I don't understand. I don't understand it. I mean, we're going to put two topics into one here. Do y'all want things fixed or need them fixed? Or do you really just want to complain and or bitch, whatever you want to call it, about something and move on? Because if you come to a man and you start complaining about something, it is our natural born instincts to try to do something about it. We use logic, reason, and manpower 9 times out of 10, depending on what the situation is, to try to solve your problem. You come to us with a problem, we give you a solution. And all that does 9 times out of 10 is piss you off to no end. You get so angry. And it's like, if you just want to complain and vent, start the conversation with, hey, I'm just letting you know, I'm just venting, okay? I don't need you to fix it. I don't need you to tell me a solution. I just want you to listen. And I'll listen. I'll sit back and I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry you had a shitty day. Or what can I do to help you? It really is that easy, ladies. It is. Number one, men are not mind readers, okay? We are the simplest of creatures, as I have said before. Our minds are on keep everybody fed, keep the power on, and make sure there's gas in the car so we can get to work and continue to do those things. Okay? That's as simple as we get. I mean, if we need to do things inside of that or make time for other things, we don't think about that. We don't think about we have I would say at any given day, we have 5 tracks that we go on, okay? Five main railroad tracks that we are on every day. We don't accommodate for side tracks or curves or derailments or anything like that. So when it happens, we're absolutely baffled because we don't know what to do, especially when that whole emotion over logic thing kicks in and you guys come to us and you're screaming and berating and poking and prodding at our dignity because you want to. I don't know. I hate to say it like this, but it's almost like you throw us under the bus all the time. Like for some reason, your issues are now caused by me, or your issues have to be my issues for it to not be. I don't know if it's like a loneliness thing, and you guys just don't want to be suffering through whatever you're going through alone. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just drives me nuts. I don't understand why it can't just be, here's my problem. What can we do to fix it? And then we give suggestions. And instead of being like, I don't like it, or what are you going to do better, or this, that, and the other, why don't we start asking more questions like that? Actually, that's a good start. Asking what we can do to do better. That's a good start. But that question really, in all honesty, if we care enough, that should be coming from us. And then it needs to not be the same. You need to try to not say the same thing as you asked us before. That's not going to work. Okay. So if you asked us to change something and then we ask you how, and you basically give us an answer that is completely the same as the problem that you're having, that doesn't solve anything. We're not looking for you to repeat yourself. We're looking for solutions that you need to make things better. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it's, hey, say you don't do enough around the house. Okay, so what would you like for me to do? And then go from there. Instead of circling back to, I don't know, you just don't do enough. I need you to start helping more. That doesn't solve the problem. Give us tasks, okay? Give us tasks that we can ultimately see a goal ending in that, and then we'll get it done. And another thing, you ask me to help you with the laundry or the dishes or cleaning the house, don't follow behind me with a mop, remopping the floor that I'm doing currently. If you don't like the way I do it and you want to berate me with, you're not doing it right, or I'm just going to redo it because you're not doing it the way I like it, like, okay, don't ask and don't complain that we don't help enough, and then complain when we do help about how we're helping, because then that's just going to, I'm going to promise you right now, that's going to make us stop helping you faster than anything else. I can promise you that right now, 110%. Little side note, by the way, if anybody's watching this that happened to have watched the last video, if this is audible and that's all you listen to, disregard this statement. But the hoodie that is on me, you're probably going to see it all the time. This is my favorite hoodie, and I got it a long time ago, and I wear it when I'm in the house. So it's just what you're going to see. So anyway, another, tidbit on some squirrels, and then we're going to move back. Don't complain about us not helping, and then complain about how we help. That's the fastest way to get us to quit. And then number 2 on the top 5 things that I'd like to talk about, stop using your vaginas as a punishment and or weapon. Okay? We can't deal with the lack of intimacy. And any man who tells you that he doesn't need sex is either a 30-year-old virgin or a psycho. One or the other. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it is in our DNA to stick our wick in something. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's in our DNA. We have to have it. And using it as a weapon does nothing but create resilience and anger and resentment. I'm just going to promise you that right now. Not one of us is okay with not having sex in a relationship. Not one. Not a normal one. And I think it is garbage that you think your vaginas are made of gold and they can be used as some weapon to take down the kingdom. And if you don't do this, I'm not going to fuck you anymore or whatever. And that's not That's not how it works, okay? Because the more you threaten us with taking things away like intimacy or love or respect, the less and less respect we have for you. I can promise you that right now. That's just how it works. You can't use things that we require against us. Like I was saying before, you guys want anything from us? You have 3 steps. Well, you know what? We'll go ahead and add 4 because we were just talking about it. 4 main steps to keep us happy. 4: food, love, sex, and respect. Period. Those 4 things are involved in our life. We will be the happiest we can be, and we will do whatever you want. Anything. Instead of using sex as a weapon, instead of saying, if you don't do this, I'm going to take it away from you, how about you say, if you help me do these dishes, or if you help me clean up the house, or if you help me do the laundry, I'll suck your dick tonight, or I'll ride you tonight, or, whatever. You figure out what your man's niches are. If he likes crazy, stupid things in the bedroom, throw a day in the week in there where you're like, help me do all this real quick and we can go in the bedroom and do whatever you want. That, I'm telling you right now, be up off the couch in 0.2 seconds and help you. I mean, he'll help you tear the house down and put it back up. If that's what he gets as a reward, yeah. Especially if you feed him before you ask him that. Good God. Number 1, we're happy because we're full. Number 2, that's a way for us to work it off so we don't get what I like to call the dad bod. I mean, that's what we got. That's what it is. You start having kids and you start getting fat. It's the unfortunate truth. But I'm telling you, you feed us, get us full, and then you look at us and go, I will rock your world if you get up and help me clean this house or do the dishes or do the laundry or tear the house down and put it back together. I'm promising you right now, that is goal number 1 for the next 2 hours of his life. I don't get it. I don't understand. How have you not figured this out yet? I think a lot of the problem is women, when they get into a relationship, they don't look at it as we do. They look at it in the way. So let me explain how we look at it. So we get into a relationship and we start to learn her and then what she needs. So we try to mold ourselves into what she needs as much as we possibly can. Anything to make her happy basically is what that, I mean, we try. Some of us don't succeed right away. Some of us take a little longer. It's, just bear with us. If it's a good one, hang on to him. He'll change. He'll do what you need him to do. Okay. This is all this whole thing is assuming that you're in a good relationship with a decent person. So if you think you need to get out of a relationship, there's numbers for that. And, you're more than welcome to. I tell you what, you can comment on my Spotify, I think, and you can go to my YouTube channel and comment on those videos. Use code words like pepperoni pizza, something like that. And I'll figure out a way to help you as much as I possibly can. But this is all assuming that you're in a good relationship with a decent person, okay? We're going to lay that out there right now. Good relationship, decent person. I promise you, he is doing everything he can to try to make you happy. I promise you that right now. That's how we work, okay? We don't succeed all the time, but we will do what we can as fast as we possibly can to try to make you as happy as possible, okay? But women get into relationships and they already, since they were like 6 years old, have this perfect man in their head. And this is just what they wanted their whole life and this and that. And this is how they always imagined they'd be with. And when they finally getting to falling in love with somebody, they start popping kids out and they get about 4 or 5 years in a relationship, 6 years in a relationship. And then they start realizing this guy isn't who I wanted. Like, this isn't who I imagined myself with. And then it's like we're Play-Doh to you women, and you think you can just go, manipulating it and playing with it, and eventually it'll mold into what you wanted. We can only do so much. We're not Prince Charming, and we never will be. We do our best, and we try to take care of you as best as we can. But molding us into something that's a fantasy or a non-realistic expectation, all that's going to do is drive us away. because you're going to become resentful because we're not what you thought you would be with. And then, we don't know what's wrong because you won't explain it to us. You just shut down, or you start taking things away from us like sex. And then we become resentful. And then it's just this giant circle of, why do you hate me? I don't hate you, but you're lying because you don't do this and this and that. And then, it turns into this giant fight all the time about how you don't do enough for me. You don't do enough for me. And then, that's why the divorce rate is absolutely insane in this country. I'm pretty sure we're in like the top 2 or 4 or 5 or whatever. We're very high up there on the divorce rate per capita per country. It's kind of ridiculous. It's all these unrealistic expectations from both sides. I mean, I'm not saying we don't have some unrealistic expectations. We think about what we would be with and who we would enjoy spending the rest of our life with. I mean, everybody has this high expectation that it's got to be some crazy Notebook style life, or, and that's a bad example. They kind of went on and off and argued a lot, but you know what I'm saying. This isn't a movie. Life's real. That's just the way it works. I mean, there's a reason that people sit down and write stories that are fiction, because you can write about however you want and however you want it to go. Life doesn't work like that. You find somebody that you fall in love with, you end up popping out a few kids, and then that's when the real fun starts. You start seeing the real people. That's just the way it works. I mean, you can say what you want. You can try to tell me that you were the most genuine person ever when you started dating somebody, and you might have been 98% genuine, but everybody does a little bit of impressing when you get into it. Let's be honest. This is a challenge for the men. When's the last time you opened the door for your old lady? I mean, if you're really as good as you say you are, you did it when you started. Why don't you still do it? I'll try to do it every now and then, but she's pretty quick about getting in the car. She beats me there half the time. It's hard for me to do that. So that's just an easy example. There's a bunch of things like, what did you do when you first started that you don't do now, and then you wonder why. This kind of goes both ways. You wonder why the romance and the love and affection has gone away. Things aren't the same. And believe me, men, when I tell you this, women hold on to shit and they don't let go. I knew a couple of girls when I was growing up that they got into a little debacle about something and they didn't talk for like 10 years, dude. 10 years. And I'm just like, that's ridiculous. I could fist fight with my best friend and we're talking again in less than a month if we're not having a beer that night. But that's the difference between us and them. They run off emotion. Yet again, that's a lot of the problem. Somebody steps on their emotions and they write them off. I mean, that's just how it works. And they assume that nobody's ever going to change. And it's just, women are vindictive. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. They hold grudges. So if you did a bunch of things when you first started in this relationship, she held on to that. And then now it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 years later and you don't do it anymore. She still remembers 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 years ago. I can promise you that. She still remembers every ounce of it. Mine does. Every now and then she'll ask me why I don't open her door anymore. And she gets the answer I just gave you. 9 times out of 10, you beat me to the car. I don't know what you want me to do. I mean, I there's not much I can do in that situation. You're already in the damn car before I even get to it. So it's it's as simple as this. Women, stop trying to mold us into this Prince Charming that we're never going to be. And men, if you're going to start as a show-off Prince Charming, try your best to hold on to that as much as you can. I mean, I told my fiance when we first got together, I'm an asshole. I let her know right off the get. And I'm not shy either. I spent enough time being shy when I was younger. I do not need that now. I am way past that. Way past that. I mean, perfect example. I'm not the type to give two shits if I fart in a Walmart aisle while we're out grocery shopping. And I'll look right at you and be like, you need to get that can of beans. We need to get the hell out of here. Period. We need to get out before we get blamed for that. I mean, I'm just, that's the type of person I am. I'm a jokester and I'm an asshole. I don't really care. I'll let everybody know too. I do not care. I play and I have a good time. And in my opinion, that's what keeps me young. Of course, didn't keep me from losing my hair, but I think a lot of that was genetics. But, it's, you gotta find a way to keep a hold of your youth as long as you possibly can. I see too many people now, especially the older I get, like my friend groups and stuff, the older everybody starts getting, it's almost like they lose sight of that. They lose sight of their childhood. They lose sight of having fun and just letting loose every now and then. And I'd say half of them, if not more, that are my age or, up into their 40s, they all have this giant stick that's shoved up their ass, and it's because they let go of that. I don't think I'll probably be that 90-year-old man that's ripping ass and telling dad jokes on the front porch. My kids will hate coming to my house, I'm sure, but I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to laugh till I croak. Point blank, period. I said 90, and I have a decent chance of going that far. My family lives forever, it seems like. My great great grandmother was 102, 100, 101, 102, 102, I think. And then my great grandmother was 91, 91, 92 when she passed away. And my grandmother and her sister, my great aunt, they are way up there. They're in their mid 70s, late 70s. And my grandmother's still, she has a 20 by 20 building in her backyard. She's still carrying quilting equipment and sewing equipment. And she's carrying all that stuff, 200 feet to the backyard. She's still rocking and rolling. And my aunt, we went over there to visit her not too long ago, Thanksgiving, and she got down on one knee like she was kneeling in a football game and just got right back up without using a couch or a chair or an armrest or anything. She just stood right back up. And I was like, I looked right at her. I said, "Dang, Aunt Sharon." I said, you're still pretty limber. And she goes, "What?" And I said, "I ain't ever seen somebody your age get down on a knee like that and not have to use some kind of prop to get themselves back up." I said, "That's impressive. You're doing pretty good." But and we kind of got a little sidetracked there. I apologize, everybody. Anyway, men will stay kids as long as we possibly can. I'm going to promise you ladies that right now. We're going to stay as young as we can for as long as we can because I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but I'm going to speak out of my own experience. I'm terrified to go. I am not at all ready to go. I've got so much more to do. Number one, y'all only have 3 episodes here, and that's not enough. Let's be honest. We got to go a little farther than that. And number two, I said number two and I realized how bad it's going to sound, but my family, I have to watch them grow up. I have to. I can't be gone before I get that chance. So I'm not ready. I think about it all the time. And that's something a little morbid that us men think about. Well, sometimes it's not morbid. Sometimes we have full blown conversations about how we think we're going to go and turn it into something that we're like, dude, that's awesome, but that's besides the point. We're simple. I don't know how many times I need to say it. We're simple creatures, and we're terrified to die, and that's just the way it works. So we will stay as young as we possibly can for as long as we possibly can. I can promise you right now. So that whole being annoyed with being a kid stuff, we're not going to quit. We're never going to quit. Like I said, I'll probably be 90 years old still farting and making dad jokes on the front porch while my kid is blushing and laughing and doing all their stuff in the background. My son will probably do it with me. If I have a daughter or another son or whatever, I know my son now, so that's why I say that. But, who knows? I may annoy them all. It may get to that point, but I'm going to let anybody my son tries to bring around know they're going to have to deal with me. But it's that easy, ladies. It's that simple. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. We're very, very easy to deal with. Very easy. And I'd say the number one tip you should take away from this, stop using it as a weapon. It's not a weapon. Use it as an advantage. We want it more than we want most things in life. I promise. I promise. I'm not lying to you. I swear. We want it more than we want a lot of things. Stop using it as a weapon. Use it as an advantage. You want us to do something? Be like, hey, you fixing to get some if you do this, and follow up. Don't use it as a weapon to get what you want and then go in there and pass out before he even makes it to the bedroom. It's kind of like the whole don't bitch that we don't help, and then when we do help, bitch about how we help. It's the same thing. Don't promise it and then not hold up your end. Because look, I understand not being in the mood sometimes. Don't suggest that when you're not in the mood and you know you're not going to be. Don't use that as an advantage in those nights. But other nights, when you're like, yeah, I could do it tonight, use it. When you're in the mood and you know, hey, listen, and I'm going to tell you this too. If you're wondering when we are in the mood, 127% of the time. I'm going to promise you that right now. Unless you're the type of woman that is like 3 times a day, 7 days a week. I mean, because then we get tired, and it's not like you guys. We can't just go 4 rounds in a row and be good. And we gotta have a minimum 5-minute recoup time after each session. So I mean, you wear that out for 3 or 4 days, and then we're like, okay, listen, you got to let the boys relax. All right. So it's not like we have to do it all the time, because we don't. But 2 or 3 days of, spread out throughout the week. Oh God, you'd have the happiest man in the world, and you would get more done and complain less. It's all a chain domino reaction. All of it. If you would just flip your tactics, and instead of, if you don't do this, you're not getting it, say this. Do it and you get this. Wait for the nights where you're like, oh yeah, we're getting it tonight. Hey, you can get laid if you get up and clean this house with me right now. And I guarantee you, sounds good to me. Up and at 'em, boys. We on. I'm promising you right now, that's how it works. And you're going to flip a lid when your life does a 180. Right now, you're pissed off because he just comes home from work and wants to sit and doesn't want to clean. And you want to, you're this neat freak and you can't just sit and let it be. And then, he's just sitting there, either playing on his phone, watching TV, eating, whatever. And you're like, lazy piece of shit. And then, there's a solution right here for you, ladies. I know it's a man thing trying to give you a solution, but I'm telling you, I'm promising you right now, I will make your life 120% easier if you listen to what I'm telling you and switch it from a weapon to an advantage. I promise. I promise. Because we will do anything we can to get it. Absolutely anything. Especially if you're one of those ladies that goes 2 or 3 weeks without it. That's great for you. I'm glad that you guys can do that, but we don't like to. So if you take 1 or 2 nights out of the week and you're just like, you get up, help me clean the house, you help me do the dishes, you help me take the laundry or do the laundry, take the trash out, I'll give you some, up and at 'em. Matter of fact, you sit down, baby, you take this pillow, you watch your favorite show, I'm going to go do all that. I almost guarantee it. Especially if you throw that in there, he on it like white on rice. I'm going to tell you right now. It's easy. It's easy. It's absolutely that easy. It's the simplest thing, and you're going to thank me later. Try it. Try it for 3 or 4 months. Try it. Just flip it. Flip the tactic. Make it different. Make it you taking advantage of the situation that is presented to you. You guys have, I don't want to hype you up, okay? I don't want to do that. But you guys have the best tactical advantage right there in between your legs. Yep. And depending on what man you have, you might have a tactical advantage on his end too, because, some of us are blessed and some of us aren't. But I digress. Ultimately, do we just accept the fact that we will always be different? Or do we find a way to communicate or resolve for the never-ending dilemma that we have ourselves in? That's pretty much it. Do you want to fix it? Do you want to be happier? Do you want your man to be happier? Do you want your lives to go smoothly? Or do we just sit back and accept our fates, and realize this is him, this is me. We love each other, but we can't come together, then, I mean, if that's the way you want to accept life, it sounds pretty miserable to me. But flip the script and watch both y'all smile more, watch you both laugh more, watch you both moan more. I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad recipe to me. Just throwing that out there. But that's the question I'm going to leave y'all with tonight. That's the question. Do you want to fix it, or do you want to keep it the same way it is right now and just accept it and move on? Because to me, if there's a solution, again, man brain, if there's a solution to the problem that we have, initiate the solution, fix the problem. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to hop off here. Hopefully, I've helped my men and women tonight, because if the women listen to me, not only will they be happier, but let's be honest, guys, we are going to be happier too. So anyway, I'm going to hop off here for tonight, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed the show this time. Don't forget, you can always go to my Buzzsprout feed, my website, and support the channel. Subscribe, follow, do all those things. And yeah, stay random, y'all. You guys have a good night.